Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I chose one from Yarnspirations.com. We are going to be making this stepping texture hat. This calls for 2 balls of Bernette Softy Chunky, and this pattern uses the colorway clay. It calls for 2 balls of 3.5 ounces, or that's 100 gram balls, or you can use 108 yards. That's 99 millimeters, whatever you go by. And also you'll need one of the size L hooks, which is your 8 millimeter. I will show you that as well as the yarn that I've chosen. So you can choose any color yarn that you wish. So you can type in stepping texture hat at Yarnspirations.com. I figured since we are now into November, middle of it as well, this is a great pattern for me to show you how to do. If you have any of those folks in your family that love these types of beanies or hats, this is also a great idea for a Christmas gift. I know I have several in my family, especially my daughter. She loves these. So this is going to be a great gift idea and a nice warm hat for the winter. So go ahead and grab everything you need and I will meet you back up. Okay guys, so this is the choice that I have made for my hat. It is Bernette Softy Chunky, and this color is called Gray Rag. It is gray and white striped, and I really love gray, so this is perfect. And you can use any color way you would like. And then you will need your L hook or 8 millimeter. And this is a chunky style hat, and it will grow on you very quickly. It is made to fit the average woman's head according to the size note. And we will start by chaining 7, and it is worked in a ribbing effect. And remember, one thing I can advise you with this pattern is to try to maintain a little bit of a loose chaining, because as you go through doing the band of this hat, you will notice that we're going to be working in slip stitches, so you don't want to do those tightly. So let's chain up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now for row 1, working in the back loops as you will for the remaining part of the band, you're going to start into the second stitch. The back loop is actually going to be your hump. The hump is known on the foundation chain as the back loop. So starting in the second stitch, you will go into that back loop for a slip stitch. So pull through and through. So that's 1. Go into the next stitch and do the same thing and work that across. So that's 2, 3, oops, that's 4, that's 5, and your last one is 6. So for the whole band we're working in slip stitches. Now for row 2, you want to turn. You're going to go into that back stitch or back loop of the stitch here you have on your hook, and you're working a slip stitch. That's why I'm saying to keep your stitches relatively loose. So that's 1. Oops, I think I skipped one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so that's all you're going to do for your band. For the next several rows, you are going to repeat this. You're going to repeat this whole process until your band measures 21 inches. And once you do that, I will return and show you how to join up the back seam, and we will continue through this pattern. Alright, I have got to my 21 inches, and as the instructions say, you will end up on your wrong side. So that I have, because my tail is on the wrong side. As the right side, it would be here. So now what we're going to do is, the instructions want us to now join our ends. So what we're going to do at this point is you're going to put your ends together, and you're just going to start slip stitching those together. So once you get those together, you're just going to slip stitch those ends, but only through the back loops. Okay? So you put your ends together, and you're just going to slip stitch through the back loops, pull through and through. The next stitch, go through the back loop here, and the back loop here, pull through and through. Okay? So again, you'll do that for 6 stitches, so that's 3, that's 4, this is going to be 5, and this is going to be 6. Alright, now for the next part, we're not finishing off here, so we're just going to move straight on to the next part. What the note states is the chain 3 at the beginning of our rounds will not count as a stitch, and there is a diagram to go along with this that you can follow if you are a diagram person, and it will show you that as well. So what we're going to start off doing is chaining up 3, and for the round 1, you're going to, of course, chain up 3, and now you're going to work 40 double crochet evenly around. Okay, so what you're just going to do is evenly space 40 double crochet, and you may have to frog this a couple times on this row just to evenly space your 40 double crochet. I know there's many times that I've had to do this. So basically I just say go with it and just start counting. If you're one of those people that can space it out evenly the very first time, then you go right ahead and do so. And I'm going to put my 40 double crochet where I think they need to be. And I may have to frog it. Believe me, I'm not the best at doing it the first time myself. I have done it, but not every time. So I'm going to do my 40 double crochet around this row, and as soon as I have that done, I will meet you up for the joining, and we will move right along to row 2. Okay guys, I went around and I did my 40 double crochet, and you also can either do this at the beginning or the end, is where they have you chaining 3. That chain 3 through this pattern is not a stitch, so either at the beginning of the round or end of the round you need to make sure to put a double crochet in that same stitch as well. Either way, it doesn't matter, but you do need to count your first stitch that goes into that stitch as the first double crochet. Okay, so now let's join into the first double crochet. Okay, and I did mine at the beginning of the round, not into the chain 3 but in the first double crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, so now that is the first round, and now what you want to do is chain up 3, which is not going to be a stitch. Okay, and we are going to be doing our ribbon effect now. What you want to do is work a double crochet, front post double crochet around each of the next 3 stitches. So you'll yarn over and go around the post of your next stitch. So you want to push that stitch forward. Alright, and then you'll work your double crochet as normal. Okay, and you'll do 3 of those in a row. So that's 1. Yarn over, go behind that stitch, grab your yarn and work your double crochet. And if you need extra help with that stitch, which is your front post and back post double crochet, I do have a tutorial on that as well on my channel. So that's 2. So let's do the third one. So you will have 3 in a row here. And then what you want to do for the next stitch is you're going to do a back post double crochet around each of the next 2 double crochet. So you'll yarn over, and this time you will go around the back. So take your hook, go around the back of this next post here, push it back, and then your hook will come out the back. Grab your yarn and complete that double crochet. And you'll work that next stitch the same way. Yarn over, go in the back, come in between those 2 posts right there, push that post back, and you'll come out the back, yarn over, and complete that double crochet. Alright, now you're going to complete that 8 times. So now you will start with your 3 front posts over the next 3 stitches. So you will do 1 front post double crochet, the next one, which is your second of the 3, and your third. Okay, now you'll do 2 back posts around these next 2. So yarn over, come in the back, and complete your double. So that's 1, and that's 2. That's your second set. And see, this is how your ribbon effect is going to take place. So you're just going to work this pattern all the way around, and I will meet you up for the next row. Okay, so I am at the last 2 stitches, which we are going to do back post double crochets around. So we are going to work those together. So 1 and 2. Alright, so now it kind of looks really wavy, and that's perfect. So now we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first front post double crochet, which you see here, but not that chain 3. That chain 3 is just a chain 3, not a stitch. So you want to jump over here to the top of that first front post double crochet and join. Make sure you get it in that stitch. Okay, and join that up. Alright, now round 3, you're just going to do a chain 3, which is not our stitch again, and you're just going to simply work a back post double crochet around your next stitch. Okay, so this next stitch you're going to go around the back, and you're going to push that post back. Okay, now you're going to front post double crochet around each of the next 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then what you will do next is we will back post double crochet around this next stitch, which should be the back post from the last one. Okay, and then you're going to just repeat this. So we will do a front post double crochet around each of the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then you're going to go around this next stitch and do a back post. Okay, then the next 3 will get front post. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll just keep working that as we go around. The next one will get a back post. So it's 3 and then 1, 3 and then 1. Okay, so just keep working that around and I will be back to join you. Alright, I'm up to the last 3 stitches where we're going to end this row with 3 front post double crochet. So here's 2. And 3. Okay, and now you will slip stitch to the first back post double crochet, which is right here, and we will join there. Now round 4 you will chain up 3 and you will do a back post double crochet around each of the next 2. So you'll go in the back, do your first of the 2 and your second. So 2 back post double crochet in a row here, and then you'll do 1 front post double crochet around the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And this is a very, very textured hat. So those of you who like textured beanies will love this. Okay, so you're just going to repeat that this round. So basically you're going to do 2 back posts in a row. 1 and 2. And then you're going to do 3 front posts in a row. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's 2, then 3. And that's how you're going to work this row. And you will slip stitch in the first front or back post double crochet, and I will meet you back up. Okay, round 4 completed. So now round 5 we will do our chain 3 again, and this time we will do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So front post double crochet around this stitch, and then you will do a back post double crochet around the next 2. So 1, 2. Okay, so you'll do that stitch. So you'll do 1 front post, and then you'll do 2 back posts. 1 and 2. Switching out a bit more often there on this row. So front post, and then 2 back posts. 1, 2. Okay, that's your pattern for this row. Go ahead and finish that up and join into the first front post double crochet, and we'll start round 6. Okay, so row 6 we are now going to chain 3. You're going to front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then you're going to back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. So you're going to have 2 and 2 on this row. So 2 back posts, 2 front posts. So now we're going to do 2 front posts. 1, 2. And now we're going to do the 2 back posts. 1 and 2. Okay, so just the continuing pattern. You're just going to work that across, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, the last 2 stitches on our row 6 will be back post. So we will work those up. Hi Charlie, say hello. And then we will join into the top of that first stitch, and that will complete row 6. Now the instructions tell us that we are going to repeat the last 5 rows one more time. You want to do rows 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Not 1, but the last 5 rows, you're going to repeat those again. And you want your hat to measure, let me slide back here. You want your hat to be measuring from here. Basically this area here is going to double, and it's going to be right around 8 inches once this part here is finished. So basically you're doubling this portion right here. So if you put your tape measure here, from not counting the band, you're going to go to about 8 inches, and that's what you're going to end up with by the time you do your rows 2 through 6 again. So I'm not going to do those on video again, so you can pull that up on Yarnspirations, or you can just rewind the video and go through rows 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 again with me. And once I have reached that part of my hat, I will rejoin you and we will move on to the top part of our hat. So I will return and just keep moving forward with yours. So I'll meet you back up soon. Alright guys, we are ready to start shaping our hat now. So we are going to start with a chain 3. And now what we need to do is work 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Then what we're going to start doing is a little bit of a decrease. You're going to skip the next stitch, and then around this next post you will do a back post triple or double crochet, not triple, sorry. Okay, now that's going to be your repetitive pattern. Now you'll do your 3 front post double crochets again. So 1, 2, 3, skip the next one, and then work a back post double crochet around the next post. Okay, and you're just going to repeat this around. 3 front post double crochets in a row here. Skip the next one and do that back post double crochet around the next post. So we are now working on decreasing and forming the peak, the very top part of the hat. So there's 2 and 3. Skip the next one and work a back post double crochet in the next, around the next post. And this hat is going to be, for me personally, which is why I chose the color that I did. I think the texture of this hat is actually one that I'm going to enjoy. Very thick. Not only the yarn makes it thick and the size hook, but the actual stitch itself is making this pattern thick. So you got a lot of things going on as far as making this a very thick and warm hat. So this is going to make a very nice pattern to do for anybody in your family. Okay, so let's do 3 front post double crochets here. 1, 2, 3. Skip the next one and then work your back post double crochet in the next. And we're almost around. So we're working our 3 front post double crochet here. Skip the next one and then our back post double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to end with 3 front post double crochet. Alright, and join as we have been doing in that first stitch, not the chain 3. Alright, now that is our first completed decrease round. So you should have a total of 32 stitches, and if you do want to count those to be exact on your counts, I would recommend you do that. And I'll be back to join you for round 2. Alright guys, round 2 of the top part of this hat, we are going to chain up 3. And you're going to start off with a front post double crochet around the next 3 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip the next stitch. Okay? And it's that simple. Then you're just going to go to the next 3 stitches and front post double crochet 3 in a row. So you're doing 3 front posts double crochet, skip 1. And that is all there is to this round. Skip the next one. Work 3 front posts in a row. And make sure you close up that gap there best you can. You don't want any bigger gaps than need be. Skip this next one. So 1, 2, 3. Skip the next and work 3 more in a row. 1, 2, 3. Skip the next. 1, 2, 3. And just work that around, join into the top of the first stitch, and I will be back. Okay, so I have my thread and my needle, and what I like to do with these chunky strands is I'll go in one stitch and come out the other, go in one and out the other. And this is how I generally like to close them up. And it works. You just pull them tightly, not too tightly, but you want to pull them snug. Okay, so we'll just run in and out just like that. So you'll just weave your yarn. Basically that's all you're doing is weaving it shut. And 1, 2, 3. I do them about 3 at a time. And you see it's closing up just beautifully. And even if you have a small little hole at the top, even after doing this a couple times, and yes, you can overlap here just a little bit. You're not going to do it far because this is, you don't even have to go very far into the first 2 stitches. But so then you're just going to jump a couple stitches at this point. And then what I generally like to do is I'll go in one side here and then just go into the other side. And then you'll start, you can go in either side here. Then you'll start pulling it shut. And it's really not a big issue because your pom-pom is going to be sewn right over that. Okay, see that? So all that's not going to be seen anyways. So I'm just going to go in one more time, and then with my loop still up, I'm going to take my needle and go in so I can knot that up real good. And I'm going to go in and do that once more. Knot that up again. And then what you want to do is just kind of go down that seam. And I know better than to use a plastic needle when I'm doing a bulky yarn. But you go in and out that seam so that you can lose your yarn there. So it hides, okay? Then you'll clip that. And then we'll make the pom-pom. And that'll go right on the top of that. And I'll be right back for that part of the video. Okay guys, so what I did for the pom-pom is I wrapped around an envelope. I wrapped this 25 times, I believe. And I left a tail here, and I am going to cut a tail here. So I'm going to take the leftover strand from where I sewed up the top part. Now I'm going to slide this off, not losing my strands. Taking that other part that we initially need to tie together here. And now I'm just going to tie this piece here in the center. And if you need a more detailed video on your pom-poms, I do have that as well. But they're very simple to make. They make little round plastic pieces you can use, but I just prefer to use my hand or a piece of cardboard or whatever it may be. And I'm just going to cut these tails off now. Sometimes I use them to connect to the hat, other times I use this tail. Okay, so I'm just going to leave these on. I'm going to tie those onto the hat. Now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to cut my loops in half. And this can be a tedious process to try to get them all, but luckily with chunkier yarn it's not as bad. And you may have to go and trim them if you made yours too long, but I would rather have them too long and trim them than not to have them long enough, because the old saying is you can always add or take away, but you can't add in things like this. So if this is something that you want a little bit less floppy and long, by all means trim it up a bit. I think I'm just gonna, well, I will trim it up later. So what I will do then is go inside of my hat, and I'm going to zoom back a bit so you can see. And just make sure you get it centered is the important thing. Doesn't matter really where you put your hook or where you get this strand of yarn, just as long as you get it right in the middle of your seam here. But you just want to get it in the center. And I've done this numerous of times on other hats. So this is just the very simple part of it. And then you go inside your hat and you just tie it on, making sure that when you pulled your strands through here that you had several loops in between. That way it's got somewhere to connect. And you can make your pom-pom as thick or thin as you would like, and then you can just cut your strands, and then you'll just weave those little strands in once you are done. Okay, and that is your hat. That is the completion of our tutorial. So this is your stepping textured hat, and this was a very fun project to do, and I hope that you guys think about making some of these for the holidays, because this is a very, very fun hat, fun project to make. It's a little bit harder to see the actual design in the color that I did, but this one's for me. But if you do it in a solid color, you'll be able to see it more. But so anyway, this is the stepping textured hat, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks for watching, and happy hooking!